for those who don't make it, hopefully they can watch this, and then we'll do a part 2 tomorrow. Hopefully we'll bring in a new crowd and go from there. Work with what we get and with people who want to work with, and go from there. Before we pop off, though, I'll let Kane kind of start us off.
Yo, man. Today was camp day, man. So it was a great day today, man. We had our first camp of the summer, and technically this is technically my first camp, actually, my first own camp, like one that I put together. So that was a big day. Now I think about it, man. Yeah, I actually just now thought about that. Actually,
that's good. Right. Congrats on that, bro.
So we just completed my first camp coordinated by me, and also my first camp under the name Familia Basketball Academy. So that's check mark off the list, real monkey on my back. And
first camp was great, by La Familia DAO sponsor too.
Yes, sir.
So there's a lot of first times.
So we're excited about that. We like I said, we did the camp in the South End in Little Rock. So it was just great for the kids. And I hopefully next time, as a matter of fact, just to throw this out there, next time I'm gonna hopefully try to get Mayor Scott, the mayor, to come down there with us. That would be super clutch.
Yeah, definitely take some pictures. He can come rock a shirt, get a shirt, kind of shit like that. Because that is his home, Boys and Girls Club, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like so literally, but right before, I think right after we announced the partnership with the DAO and Family Basketball Academy, he tweeted that they were going to work on getting Thrasher Boys and Girls Club new basketball goals and other stuff for outside, I think. That was crazy time. I actually, when I tweeted about I think I tweeted about the basketball camp maybe, and I tagged him in it. I went ahead and tagged him in it just in case, you never know.
Yeah, but we got to put that together.
But yeah, everything was a success, man. We was able to get about I think it was 14 or 15 kids came through, all different ages, and it ended up being perfect, man. It ended up being perfect. We went for about 3 to 4 hours. And even got a couple kids that's probably gonna come for our paid sessions as well. So, it's great. That was great, man. I can't complain. It was a great collaboration from me and my family, and then a couple of basketball players, like a Euler D1 point guard was there from Little Rock. So Ryan Pippins was there. So that was really cool as well. So it was a great experience. It was a great experience, man. And with that being said, man, like it really got me even more excited about, the collaborations that'll come from the DAO, because like I said, that wasn't even a scratch on the surface of what a partnership with the DAO could do for my basketball academy. So I'm just really excited to see what we can do with the DAO moving forward, man. We got so many big things planned, so I'm really excited about the collaboration aspect about that. So, but yeah, the basketball academy was flat out success.
Congrats on that, bro. Big congrats. And that's the Boys and Girls Club I went to, even though I always wanted to go to the one all my friends went to, which was Pinnock. I ended up having to go to that one, but still, that one holds a lot of memories. So that means a lot to me that was able to happen. So that's super dope.
Thanks, man.
If anybody else got anything they want to throw in there before I do the presentation, shouldn't be too long either.
I'm just going to add real quick. I'm at work, but I'm tapping in just to catch what I can. But I'll probably be really involved tomorrow mostly.
Dope.
But yeah, I'm
hell yeah, bro. Appreciate the communication. Hell yeah.
Thank you for tapping in, bro. That's clutch, bro.
Yeah, that means a lot, bro, for sure. Well, we'll get it started, man. Looks like it's gonna be kind of in-house today, but like I said, hopefully we'll bring in a new crowd and then get people to watch this too. So, La Familia DAO Roadmap Part 1. Our last AMA was actually about a little bit, almost a month ago. So we back at it. This here shows kind of some of the achievements, some of the things that the DAO, even before it has been officially established, has done, or some of the highlights, I would say. As Kane was talking about the camp, having the official domain of La Familia DAO, which that took going through legal legal structures with the platform and all that, and they were able to work with us and get it. Things like the partnership with Finley Academy, of the video production that we are working on launching now called Utopia Media. Things like the decentralized album, which Cam is involved with, which is also part of the treasury of La Familia DAO, and kind of showing some of the highlight too from the past where one of our dear members, Nick, and one of my close friends, he tweeted when he first joined the La Familia group, before we were even a DAO, he tweeted, La Familia is the pinnacle of hustling. It's damn near too many ways to make money in this motherfucker. And then you got Juro and other close friends of ours saying, boy, it's bananas. So that tweet kind of popped off the beginning. Like, that's when we first started getting people in and started building the community. And then the other thing in the corner is it's a recap from when we did one of our biggest AMAs. We think we had maybe about 10, 12 members. And we were very organized. We kept a lot of notes, a lot of information was shared and collaborated. And I would say this is probably one of the most highlighted AMAs to me personally. So I put it on there, but we've been doing AMAs now for over a year, consistently. And most of them before this have been about educating, onboarding, teaching the fundamentals of Web3, and then eventually transitioning to teaching and learning about DAOs and getting the community that we built to transition to a DAO. So that's kind of where we at up to now. This is the type of governance framework that at the moment we want to build on. Anything that I'm saying today, including this presentation, can all be changed and modified due to what our community proposes. So none of this is obviously concrete, but this is going to be what we call 1.0. And the governance framework is called Stupid Simple Governance Framework. It reminds me of one of my favorite sayings called KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And this one here is broken down into 3. So what decisions need to be made. This is obviously like proposals and like what we decide that our roadmap is and what kind of proposals we got to do and the things we have to create and do. And then who decides, obviously that's going to be the DAO and the governance of the members. And I'm going to go very overview on these. This is stuff that we're going to be going very into detail during the community hall, which will focus more on these type of logistics. And then the other part, the last part, is how are they incentivized? So, creating a system to where we all know how we're going to be incentivized and how we all benefiting from this ecosystem. We want to make it very clear and simple on how, we want to make it simple to where every member in the DAO can answer these 3 questions without putting any kind of thought into it, because it's just that simple and it makes that much sense. I showed this image during our last AMA where I was kind of teaching about the difference between a centralized system and a decentralized organization. And basically, the first image, as you see, everything works off one nuclear and goes back to that same nuclear and doesn't create more ecosystems. It just kind of stays all in one ecosystem. And then if you see the DAO, one ecosystem can create hundreds of other ecosystems and so on. And when I was drawing a crazy sketch on my iPad back a couple days ago, and I was breaking down how La Familia DAO is built into 3 things, which is investment, education, and network. I started creating these bubbles that would go above hypothetically, and they're obviously going to get filled in within time. But it was a perfect visual representation of man, this really is going to be a DAO, because what we're doing in each sector of our bubbles are creating more ecosystems that are going to run and provide their own value to different people. So we'll get down to kind of the more meat, the meat of things, however people say that. Roadmap 1.0, as we say, this is 1.0. I've broken down into 3 phases. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 1 is going to be considered Q3 to Q4 this year, which is basically starting now until basically the end of the year. And then phase 2 being the Q1, Q2 season, which is going to be next year around January to possibly around beginning of April. And then phase 3, we can start considering that being Q3, which will be usually starting around closer to the summertime. So just the times in that specifics can change, but just to kind of give you guys an idea of what these phases, these are just used to help us organize and kind of create a roadmap for us. So phase one. So this is where we start. On the bottom left is, I would say, is if we want to go in a chronological order, then we can start off to the left. Phase one is going to start by the board being established. So this is going to be what the town hall meeting is for. That's where our board will be established. That's where the DAO itself will be officially established. So that's step one. Step two of phase one would focus on infrastructure. So infrastructure being specifics like how we're going to do proposals, how we're going to do incentivations, how is the treasury going to be built, what is the exit plan if somebody wants to leave, and things like the white paper, which is going to be coming out during the town hall meeting, which the white paper is like the legal or like the most structured statement that shows everything about that business or that vision. So it's kind of like a vision plan, business plan, all of those different pitch decks all put together, and it's a white paper. So these things are going to be concreted at some point in phase one, which will be pretty much after establishing our board and the community hall. A lot of these things I already have solutions for. So like, and I'm going to show some of the websites towards the end, but like for proposals, there's a website that makes things so easy. There's so many resources for DAO now. They're cheap or basically free. You just got to pay gas fees. And they're going to allow us to make a very simple proposal system, create systems where people can get paid out very easily, give us a smart contract so that we can have a treasury, and keep everything organized for us. So I'll share a couple of those, but I do have access to those. Eventually what would happen is there's so many DAO resources that I'm sure more DAO members are going to be like, hey, we should try this one, or let's check out this one. And I'm sure eventually we'll vote on a newer infrastructure or another one that maybe makes more sense. But at the meanwhile, I'm focused more on the ones that have been around and are pretty much community free. You know, they're built to really help the community, not for profit. The Discord launch, that's gonna, once we have these two things established, we will transition to the Discord launch, which would be obviously us having a Discord just like we do now, like the one that we're in, but for the DAO specifically and catered with channels for the DAO. So it's going to be its own curated thing. We would then start working or start offering a very easy road or bridge between onboarding from the group, which is this Discord that's free, that anybody can damn near join, to the DAO. So like for anybody who joins the group and is interested, there's an easy and very enjoyable path of going from group to DAO. And then this kind of starts building into our community. We want to, obviously we want to start concreting our community. So things like Twitter Spaces are going to start happening, where weekly Twitter Spaces can be hosted by, which I volunteer that I'm going to host them, but other members can host Twitter Spaces as well, or just be hosting different AMAs, because we want to have different virtual presence and events every week. And then eventually monthly town halls, kind of what we're going to do at the end of the month. We'll probably have one of those once or twice a month as needed. And those will be usually the most important meetings there is. Websites and the website and merch, that would kind of follow along with the community building phase, which is still in phase one. So we would build a website, hopefully get involved with some cool developers now that we have those in our report, and get them to help us out with building a really cool, innovative Web3 type website. And that itself is going to be its own meeting, the website, because there's going to be so many cool things we can approach with the website and how we do merch. Obviously, we know with merch, we have a lot of things to leverage. And then phase one, where we know that kind of phase one will be concluding, which would be basically towards the end of the year, there will be a clear and open gate. Oh, I put gate twice. Gate access / membership. So what that means is there will be some kind of very simple or some structure system that's set up, very robust, that people could join so that they can be part of our DAO or become members of our DAO. And at that point, this system is now like self-managed. Like nobody has to do the effort or work. we already created the infrastructure and the system just kind of runs itself, and allows people to join in, and we have a robust system that supports this foundation that we built in phase 1. Before I move to phase 2, remember you can always put some in the chat just in case I say something or you guys think of anything, so you don't forget. You can throw in the chat. We can always get to that at the end. But I'll keep moving on. Phase 2, I would say phase 2 is definitely 1.0 for real. Like, this is where more of our creativity and different approaches are going to come in, and this can change a lot. But at the current moment, and just with the way that the foundation has already been built up with us getting here, NFT launching is definitely going to be something that we are interested in or would be interested in looking into, which would mean that we could help artists launch pad NFTs, or we can put together teams and invest into them, or, you know, be part of them and help them launch. We can be part of launching our own NFT projects, but that's definitely something that has a big potential, as we know. Tokenomics will start emerging into phase 2. Whether it's going to be the LFD token or the FAM token, there will be a tokenomics system that will come in or will be clearly already set up by then. And tokenomics could be earlier than phase 2, but I'm just saying phase 2 is a reasonable time to say we have time to really perfect a robust system for tokenomics to where we don't do the same mistakes that other DAOs have done. So that's why I put it in phase 2. Virtual and physical land. This is something that we're obviously very big in the sense of building Familia foundation and ecosystems. We need virtual and physical land. So by phase 2, we would have some established land and virtual spaces along with physical lands that we would all vote for in proposals. And if they pass, then we'll be, that's what we will be focusing on. We definitely want to have metaverse presence. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but as you can imagine, this is its own meeting on its own, but we definitely want to have metaverse presence. In phase 2, we would also be highly focused on launching sub-DAOs and guilds. Sub-DAOs kind of meaning what it sounds like. Subsidiary groups from the DAO that are still in partnerships with the DAO, but are their own ecosystems as well. And guilds being like specialized groups that are going to be in our DAOs that focus on different niches. So what that means is, like, we can have a gaming guild, like a La Familia guild, which means that, there's a team that we invest into and send out to be part of e-sport gamings or things like that, or music, when we're making the albums, or where we're collaborating with other artists, or whether we get in a partnership with Chill Arts or working with other labels. And then media, things like Utopia, different sources of media or anything else that we bring into that space. Phase 2, in real life event, I feel could also would be needed by then. And we could do some kind of big event where we could bring together all our members and kind of all be awarded and incentivized with a good time and a good environment for being part of this, and also for getting to this point, because we also got to get to this point. And then by the end of phase 2, which will be, we're talking about next year around this time, basically, we would be looking to have some sort of Web3 collab or partnership with some type of platform that's, credible and has already been established, along with the partnerships we're going to build. But this one is kind of like a big one we want to aim at, something that can be a big dream of someone we want to partner up with or have a collaboration with. But we definitely want to focus on that and kind of make that a goal by the end of phase 2. And then phase 3 kind of starts fading out a little bit for me. I definitely wanted this to be more of like people come in and adding, and the community building this. But things like staking and DeFi are here, where we'll be able to stake and have some kind of decentralized finance system for our tokenomics. Then we have things like the Familia ecosystem. This is probably one of our most, I would say, like far-fetched, big dreams type of goals, which is that Familia DAO members, that there's going to be some ecosystem created that Familia members are going to be able to create this utopia, in a sense, where they're not going to have to worry about recurring bills. or recurring charges, like things like light bills or water, buying water, food because we got gardens, light because we have solar panels, things in that sort, like even with rent because we have land. We want to create an ecosystem that really awards our members in the long term, and the goal that we're building, that they will be incentivized with this type of world that our ecosystems are going to create, which is a very utopia-ish world, but that is what we're aiming at, to have our own gardens, have our own solar panel systems, have our own land, have our own water, our actually good water partnerships where our members can get actually really good hydration, things like light bills, like I said, that can be eliminated, and then we can go on from there to keep building more and more things. How the hell that's going to happen? Every day, more ideas keep popping up to my head, but that's, like I said, that's more of our long-term dream big type of concept. We will also build a dev team, which means that we would go and have a dev guild in a sense in our DAO, and they would we would go and recruit a team of front end, back end developers, full stack developers, augmented reality, AI, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and we have these developers in our team, and then we can make proposals around creating things with them, and like I said, create that ecosystem so we can all be awarded. But we definitely want to have a La Familia dev team. That's going to be a huge power. And then we're almost done here. So then we got international onboarding. This is where we connect and leverage our international reports and connections, like mine from Panama, like Cam's connection to international, and the rest of our members who have connections to other countries. I can't think of all of them, but I know that just off the top of my head, I can think of like 5 people, 6 countries for sure that are in the Discord. But obviously we want to take a bigger approach and start creating this international network. And then I just kind of start from here. I just kind of filled it in to fill in the blank. I said like interplanetary familia. I do believe in interplanetary, so like that is a thing eventually that could be proposed one day. And then setting up in Mars, and then more to come in us to create. Kind of finishing up there with phase 3. I shared this from our last AMA. This is just some things, some of the different investments that we can do, or partnerships or groups or niches that we can jump into very easily at this point, like fine art, 2D art, 3D art, project management, community building and moderation, investing, venture capitals, NFT collectibles, photography, along with videography, DAOs, programming and development, gaming, and music, which a lot of these things I've mentioned just a few minutes ago. And that wraps it up. Thank you to everybody who gets a chance to hear this and who experienced this live with me. We're going to do a part 2 tomorrow. Depending on who shows up, we'll either take in a more in-depth approach to the things we talked about today, or we'll run it back and kind of do a similar presentation to this one, and see if we can get more people to on board and be part of the actual governance building of the DAO. But with that being said, that wraps it up for me on here. Feel free to hit me with any questions or come in and talk about anything.
So a while back you gave me a tokenomics example. I can't remember what it was based around but do you have an example of how tokenomics will work? It might have been an example with the basketball academy.
Well, yeah. I mean, in the sense of the user perspective, it would be a token that would hold value in the sense of voting and proposals, first of all. So it would allow you to, be part of the building and proposing ecosystem. But the goal that will be far-fetched, but it's like, I know it's possible, but we don't have the infrastructure just yet for it, but it's definitely a dream, is that the token would eventually be used to pay for all the services that are in our network. And I use the example of like how you provide basketball services, and let's say Pat provides videography and Cat provides music services. Well, if this ecosystem and if we do phase 1 right, for example, into phase 2, then basically the fam token would have value that people would be able to pay us in fam token, and then it would be valued to us enough or the same as cash or more. Ultimately, our members would be able to pay their services or the things that the ecosystems they're participating in our token.
Definitely nice for like just walking through this. Stop seeing some of the slides and the information, like the vision and everything. It makes it definitely easier to materialize.
All right, man. We're gonna wrap it up, y'all. Peace out. Talk to y'all soon.
Yes, sir. See y'all tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's bad. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right, G.
Peace out, boys.